I don't like Hyungseo either. For me, she looked kind of scary. Does that mean? I don't care. Uncanny Valley. I don't know. It's just like whenever I look at her, it looks like I'm looking at like a doll.
My. Like, I speed ran through the show, okay, this past weekend to catch up with you guys.
God damn
But
it.
man, even though I speed ran, she caught my attention. And guess what? The one girl I was rooting for didn't make it in. She didn't make it in.
Someone making sense, finally.
And I was shocked. Because here's the thing. Koreans, like, they love visuals, right? And they love talent, and they especially love star power. And this girl had it all. She had
Not
it all.
according to
I disagree. So we can talk about that later.
Wait,
Yeah.
reminder to replace his name.
Oh God, I mean, you mother effort, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's easier. Just take it out and replace it with BM.
It'll make it seem like you cursed.
Dubious.
Yeah, as if that's not my job.
But yeah, that happened. And so I wanted to kind of give her a spotlight. So boom, here she is. The cover girl for today's episode on K-pop's latest survival show. So hello to everybody tuned in. You're listening to Offbeat Koreans. We uncover some of the latest K-pop news and controversies. So if you want to hear more of our podcast, please check it out on our YouTube channel. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe. All right, so if you guys have been following K-pop, then you probably heard about some survival show where, they're taking a bunch of underage girls and making a girl group out of it. And, you saw controversies about idol Soyeon being rude and Yuri saying that a girl wasn't pretty enough to debut and things like that. I initially didn't have any plans to watch it just because I had trauma from Girls Planet. But apparently the two boys here, BM and Dubious, actually began watching it. So I wanted to ask you boys, what kind of brought you to the show and what initial expectations did you have? BM, I'll actually start off with you.
I think. Well, me and Dubious started watching this because his friend started picking the show up and then asked Dubious about it, right? So initially we didn't have any intention of watching My Teen Girl.
Right.
I think Dubious was also kind of burnt out after GP9.
Right.
But yeah, we decided to give it a shot, and it was decent enough where like we kept watching, right? Because like
a little different too.
We all know these shows. Like there's always like suspense, and they always like cliffhanger, so it keeps it interesting, right? But what I found interesting about this show was their new challenges. It wasn't anything like Produce or GP9, right? It was actually pretty cutthroat, and I think that caught me and Dubious like pretty off guard. It was pretty cold. Like having the girls like rely on the quote unquote ace of the team for survival, right? That was pretty cold. All I remember is the ad lib, which I'll get to later. But yeah, man, I think one thing I wish different about the show, and correct me like if you guys think different, but like I think first grade was too young, like the freshmen.
Yes.
Like having like 12-year-olds in there, like almost 11-year-olds is crazy. I don't know. And maybe I'm just a boomer. I don't know. I don't know if I want to like see kids that young, on a show like this.
Yeah.
No, especially mixed in with like songs that are a little bit more like mature and stuff. I don't know.
Right.
Those are my first impressions, and like if like as we go in depth, I can like comment more. But yeah, those are my first impressions.
Yeah. Dubious.
I mean, yeah, same thing for me. Like, I was never intending on watching the show. First, because first of all, I never watched Idol School, right? And I don't know how much of the show is overlap with Idol School, so I don't know if this show is to Idol School the same way like GP999 was to Produce series. But like I expected the show to be like less grand of a scale. And so that's why I wasn't gonna watch it. Also, like I heard from like all K-pop articles that some of the members are really young, so I was like, I don't know if this is my thing. But then, like BM mentioned, my friend who I haven't talked to in like 2 years, like reached out to me and was like, "Are you watching this show?" I'm like, no, and he's like, you gotta watch at least the first 3, and I was like,
Interesting.
all right. I mean, it's a survival TV show. There's no way I'm gonna like hate it, so I started watching it, and then since BM and I were watching, we just made it like a daily or weekly kind of schedule thing, and we just ended up finishing it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Sorry, one more thing. As for expectations, yeah, I just assumed that like the production was probably gonna be lower cost. And I kind of had my worries about the judges because I didn't know how much judging experience like Yuri, Okjeon, Aiki, and like Soyeon had. So that's why I was kind of a little scared. But those are my expectations going into the show.
I see. Yeah, so the show started actually November of last year, which is funny. That's actually when our podcast started, and it had its finale in late February. And as for the show, we saw these girls go through multiple missions, some of which they actually kind of had to do by themselves in a way, in order to escape elimination. And as always, we had some rising stars. And boy, one thing I want to point out is we had a lot of missions, like a lot. Like just in terms of eliminations total, there were 6. So really, there was kind of like 6 missions, right? And this is excluding the final performance. And it like in total, I think each girl probably performed like 10 songs total, which is unheard of. Like in Produce, they did like an intro thing, then 3 songs, and then maybe like 2 additional ones for the finale episode. But like here we got like 10. And I think in doing a lot of missions, NBC, who's the one that kind of produced this, they kind of learned that doing like filler episodes were bad because that was a big issue in like Produce and like Girls Planet.
Oh, like episodes where they're like playing and stuff.
Yeah, like they just go out. Like remember that time when they went out to the farm and like another group went to like massage. Like those things. It's just
Another
like it's
group went to
dragging.
Taeyeon's house.
Oh yeah. And from mom, I'm just like, yeah, like I think NBC learned. So like they're trying to like milk as many performances out of the girls as they can.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that kind of helped give girls more screen time, and I think gave them less stress over not having enough screen time as well. Because like I said, they got to perform like 10 songs. And with all of these missions that they had, kind of wanted to see your guys' opinions on like the most memorable stages and songs that you saw. Dubious, I'll start with you.
So I will say, like overall, I was very impressed by overall the performances throughout the show. Like we didn't have a lot of like stinker groups, and what I mean by that is like, no, well, let me explain. Like in like Produce 48, you kind of like the Boombaya team, right? Like teams that you're like scared for, right? That like you're like, ooh, how are they gonna hold a stage, right? Like, with like GP999, you had a mic drop team. Like during the like midweek prep, like you were just like, dude, this team's not gonna do anything on stage. For this show, there weren't many groups like that. Like, yeah, you could say like Yooyeon and like Chiwoo's stage was slightly shaky, but like overall, like they were pretty good. So for me, if anything, like it's not really the really good stages that stood out. It was, if anything, it was like the mistakes that stood out. Because overall the performances were really good, right? So I'll run through some of these, and so BM, you can jump in if any of these are also the same ones that you're thinking about. But episode 1, when they were doing like the first introduction to all the girls, right? There were 2 girls that came out and they did Oh My Girls nonstop. It was Kim Sejin and Kim Yeseo, and they were the ones that Soyeon grilled and was like, I don't know what the audiences saw.
Oh my god!
You know that stage?
What grade were they?
I don't know what grade they were. I have their names down, but I don't know what grade they were.
Do you remember when Soyeon, or like the audience was like, oh my god, like let's just get them to pass, and then Soyeon was like, well, was the audience like deaf? Like,
yeah, they were like, did they not see the same thing that we saw? So that performance stood out. In episode 4, and BM mentioned this, but during the stage where this was 3rd grade versus 2nd grade, I think. And what was it? The ace of the team had to save the last member on that class.
Oh
Um,
no.
So third grade Choi Yunjung had
Mhm.
to go against second grade's Jiwon, right?
Okay.
Oh, sorry, no. No, wait, sorry, I messed this up. It's third grade Choi Yunjung versus Chaewon, fourth grade Chaewon.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Okay.
And Ok
Was
Jun,
it?
who was the third grade teacher, right? It was yeah, I'm pretty sure. Wait, was it Jiwon? Was it Jiwon? Or was it Chaewon?
I do not remember.
I
Oh,
don't
it was one
remember
of the two.
either.
Okay.
No, you know what? Regardless, okay. Regardless, Ok Jun was like told Chae Yun-jung like, "Hey, don't do the ad lib."
Oh, that
Right?
was so
Yeah.
funny, dude. That
And
was
then
so funny.
and that's what makes me think it was Chaewon because I think Chaewon was the one that added the high note. But
Mhm.
regardless, like Yoonjung was doing fine, and then suddenly she just puts in the ad lib and just completely fails, which leads her to getting her own number dropped. So that was like really memorable. And then somewhat similarly, but in episode 7 in the position battles, it was classes 3 and 4, a combination of them going against classes 1 and 2, and Chaewon, they were performing Taeyeon's Eye.
Yes. Yes.
And Chaewon hits the high note of the song like perfectly.
And then
And then right afterwards, literally the verse right after, Chiu follows up and does like the voice cracks in the most unfortunate way. Literally, BM and I were watching and we just gasped. We were just because the song was going well too, like it was a good performance, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're just like, oh my god. And then following theirs, the vocal team from Team 1 and 2, which had Poon, Riwon, Jimin, and Youngchae, they did Mamamoo. I don't know how to pronounce the song. Is Kamani or something?
Dekakomani.
Money. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they killed it. They killed it. So that performance, those like that Team 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4 is really memorable. And I guess I don't know if VM remembers this, but in episode 10, there was a song where they did Everglow's Dun Dun versus ATEEZ Moth in the morning.
Oh, dude, I was done, bro.
Okay, so for me, I actually liked both performances, but I think what
Oh,
was funny
interesting.
was when BM and I were watching during Mafia, right? Hong Haeju,
Yeah.
she did like a Rockabye Baby like backflip and then like front flip, like it was like a Tenet move where like she went back and then she kind of like rocked the by and then she like
Kind of like
rolled forward again.
rewinded.
Yeah. And people were like, "Whoa, what's that?" And then BM's like, "Is this The Exorcist?" And then right afterwards, when they were performing Dun Dun, my freaking girl Won Jimin, she's performing Dun Dun. Performance is going so well, and then she comes out of the spiral.
Oh, I remember.
Completely loses all strength in her legs and goes to take a hot dog. Like she literally like loses her balance and then runs in front of the girl who's like in front of the stage. And I was just like, "You're kidding me."
It was like the dance equivalent of like cracking on a high note.
Yeah. It wasn't even in the background. Like she literally like fell or
Yeah.
like she literally tripped and like came into the front of the stage. And I was like, "Oh man." Those were the stages that were memorable to me.
Of course.
Dude, on the Chaeyoung one, oh, I wish me and Dubious had our like live reactions.
reaction
it
to
was
it?
so funny.
Oh.
It was so funny.
Again, not to be mean to her, but like it was just
No, mean to her,
Yeah.
dude. How do you go up
Damn.
there, have your teacher be like, "Don't do this one thing," and she's like, "You know what? I'm feeling it. I'm gonna do it," and then you cost another girl her spot. I fully think that she lost because of that mistake.
No, me too.
It was
100%.
so bad. It was so bad.
It was bad.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess I'll just start off with like girls that like caught my attention.
Wait, first of all, sorry. Wasn't that the second
Yeah.
question? Don't you want to do the memorable stages ones first?
Yeah.
Or is
Well,
that
you could do the stages
lead-in?
first. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I think you covered most of it, but I can also.
Oh, okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Let's see, what songs were there?
There were a lot of songs. I had to look them up.
Dude, I'm on Wikipedia right now, and it's not telling me anything.
No, it only has a couple of them.
Yeah.
You can move on to the next question if you want.
Yeah, the contestants. then.
Oh, I did like. So, I like Dun Dun Dance. Just because I like the song. I think who did that team? Oh, it was grades 2 and 3, right? And the ones that chose like the pretty concept, they chose Dun Dun Dance. Dubious, do you remember that one girl? I think it was Park Hyo-rim. She messed up pretty hard too.
Which performance was this?
I think it was Dun Dun Dance. She was
Wait.
singing. She was singing Just Dance, and I think she cracked. Do you remember?
Dude, wait, this was Oh My Girl song?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't remember.
Anyway, well, there's that. If I find the thing, I'll like.
Yeah. Send me
It's
that.
funny how the
later.
most memorable performance is always some kind of voice crack.
I don't know.
I mean, it's fair because like even when you think about it, like the songs you remember from like Bruce 48, like okay, sure, like I really like Peekaboo that like Eden and like Pound did and stuff. But like, come on, like everyone remembers like hey, like
duties,
yeah. What was it? What was the line?
It should have done the high note.
Yeah, no.
Right.
That one, and freaking oh man, what was the other really big mishap in Bruce 40? Or like just like the Boombaya song, like like the ones that you're just like, well, because like
Yooyeon can't catch a break.
No, but the thing is, she gained the most from that.
That's true.
That if anything, like that was the best thing that ever happened to her.
Yeah,
because she took a team that couldn't do anything and put a manageable stage together.
Yeah,
right?
she took initiative and then like
I mean, they still should have lost 100%, but they won by popularity, which is fine. But
I was also gonna mention a thing I like about this show was I think for the most part the song selection for the girls was pretty decent.
Yeah, 100%.
They had like Lavi and Rose, they had like Dun Dun Dance, they had like Bagamad and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other half of the songs are kind of questionable. Like, and that's like personal taste, right? I don't know. I don't want to hear like Hello Ladies. I don't want to hear like Run the World. That one like We Got the Power song. I've never heard of that song in my life.
A Little Mix.
Yeah. Little Mix? Yeah. It was Little Mix, yeah. I don't know. I've never heard of that song before.
Dude, I remember what felt bad was like they were doing like the grade. I think it was like one of the first like performances, and like someone got like ITZY's song, someone got like I don't know, maybe like a Blackpink song, and then like the first graders got like Everglow or something like that.
Yeah.
And we were like, I mean, okay, we're not hating Everglow, of course, but it's like, wait, why did like give them a more popular song, bro? Like, why are they getting an Everglow song?
It's just kind of weird. If I was a group getting like, I don't know. I mean, I like Beyonce. Like, don't get me wrong, but if I got like Run the World or something, I would have been pissed. TBH.
That's fair. I mean, it's also a very particular like niche song. Like you want, like you're not doing that in like K-pop prep,
Yeah, like if I was a trainee, I'd want to like a K-pop song,
Yeah.
I don't know. But like I think Dubious covered most of my like memorable performances.
Okay, then go on to the next one.
Yeah, I'll start off the next one. How about that?
Yeah.
Girls that caught my attention. Off the top of my head, I have to agree with Insider.
Yeah.
I was a huge Yooyeon, not Yooyeon. I was a huge Yunseo fan. I thought she had everything. Like she had a very distinct voice. Like when she hits the deeper timbres, like it's pretty unique, right? She's able to rap. She can sing decently. She can dance decently, and like she's been recognized by agencies like JYP, YG, FNC, etc.
It was
right?
SM, YG, and FNC.
Yeah. The other girl was JYP.
Yeah, whoever that was. Yeah.
I like this girl a lot too because I think she has pretty good fashion sense. And I think she has star quality. I think Dubious disagreed, but at least we see it Insider. And I was pretty sad when she first of all was 7th. Second of all, didn't even make it, right?
Yeah.
So Yunza caught my eye. Another girl that caught my eye was probably Park Boon, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
First grader.
Yeah.
Hard to ignore her when she's like a carbon copy of Jenny.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh man, out of the final lineup, dude. Anyone watching out there who's this Sunyu fan?
Damn.
Feel free to write her positives in the comment, and I'll take a look. I
You're
don't
gonna
know,
take a
man.
look. You're not gonna
I
take a
don't
look.
know, man. Maybe I won't even take a look. I don't know. I'm still salty. Oh man, her and Hyungseo being in the final lineup. Oh my gosh, dude.
All right, we're gonna talk about the final lineup later.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
hold
okay,
that
okay,
thought.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. I don't like Hyungseo either. For me, she looked kind of scary. Does that mean? I don't care.
What down?
Uncanny Valley. I don't know. It's just like whenever I look at her, it looks like I'm looking at like a doll.
Here's the cold open.
Possessed doll.
Damn.
Staring into the depths of my soul. Feeling
Jeez,
spots for my girls.
dude.
I like Yooyeon. She's a pretty solid and pretty like clear all arounder, right? She can do everything. She can dance. She has very good like stage presence. She can sing. I like that she has a slightly deeper voice too. I think like it's really nice when like younger idol trainees have it because it's like unique, right?
Yeah.
Like sure, like when everyone's like younger, like they can sing high notes, but if like when they can sing deep notes well, especially as like a girl, very impressive, you know. Chaewon stood out. I think Chaewon is probably one of the best singers in the show so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird, right? Because it kind of came out of nowhere. They didn't really advertise her too much aside from her being like kind of like
That's true.
fake stuck up, you know.
Yeah.
You know when they appear, they're kind of like the mean girls.
Yeah,
kinda.
and when they were putting on like an act, right?
Yeah. At first, it was like kind of jarring, but as the show went on, like yeah, like that's kind of part of her charm. She had very good reactions to so many clips of her going like "wow" or like
Wow.
"wow" or stuff like that. You know, it's pretty funny. Has a little bit of personality. I liked Minami too. Minami and Youngchae out of second second grade. Minami Youngchae. I liked Youngchae a lot. I thought that she showed a lot of maturity in her personality. Like she was able to like stay cool and stuff. She knows how to like keep composure, and she's also like good at dancing and singing. Like a lot of these girls impressed me so much actually because I think that this show is a little bit different from Produce and like GP9, where I was surprised by how many like decently good singers there were
Yeah.
in like contestants that are so young, you know.
Yeah.
I liked Mihi, but I also didn't like Mihi. I don't know, something about her that makes me like not want to like stan her, or not even stan, just like I don't know, something about her I don't like. And I feel the same way about Hyunhee too from third grade. I don't know.
Is it like a mean girl look or something?
I think their features are too sharp. I don't know.
I see.
I don't know.
That's racist.
Damn. Oh, me and Dubious can attest to this one, but like, Insider, what was your opinion of the two girls that did the Celeb 5 song? Do you remember that?
Ooh, man. It was Subin, right?
Yeah, it was the two Subins. It was Kim Subin and Che Subin, the better Subin.
Yeah, I don't think I had much of an opinion on them.
Oh, I had an opinion.
Oh, dude.
Wow.
I think she should have. I don't know.
I'll say this: if BM says everything he said while watching, he can't go back to work. Like he won't be able to go back to society.
Damn, people! I'll just be labeled as an asshole, dude. I don't know. Okay.
It's just not our type of idol, you know. It's
Being
just
completely
not what we're
real
looking
here,
for.
the only skill I saw from her was being able to make that goofy face.
We're talking about the Subin girl?
Yeah. You know the one that's like people are like, oh, like so full of energy, like stuff like that, you know? God damn it. Energy is not a skill. Anyone can add me at that. Like energy doesn't pay the bills, you know? Energy is actually a bill, believe it or not. I don't know.
What's this terrible analogy? Just
I don't know.
a metaphor.
I'm trying to
I love it.
harbor my anger, dude.
Yeah.
So like for me, she didn't really demonstrate any noticeable like skill in dancing or singing. She was honestly like a meme pick. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I see.
And like
It's like the Noe of Produce 48.
even worse in my opinion. The thing is, when like teachers, I'm sure like this is me, like saying this talking point behind the computer screen while there's actually like professionals out there like that know dancing and singing, right? for me, I don't know why the teachers like stress energy so much. You know, it's almost like they stress it so much because they have nothing like better to say for a lot of these first graders.
Yeah.
That's how it felt like to me. It didn't really feel like it's almost like when you're like praising your kid and you have nothing else to say because they do something like not really noteworthy, you know? Like, Dad, I got a glass of water. It's like, oh damn, you're the best like water getter in the world, you know? Like stuff like that. Like this girl, I don't know, her first song. I'm biased. I'm very biased against like song choice, right? Her song was garbage. Why would you ever come on in a like? It's almost like besmirching the name of all these other girls. That's how it felt like to me. All these other girls chose like serious songs that they like are good at and stuff, and then this girl chooses a parody song.
But you can argue that because of that, she stood out.
I'm not arguing that.
No, but like
I'm
that's her strength. She thinks that's her strength.
I'm not arguing against that, but I just didn't like the song.
100%. Yeah, me too.
I don't think. I don't know. Choosing a parody song in this kind of setting is kind of like a mockery to me. That's how I kind of felt. And if anyone wants me to go to jail, I can elaborate for hate speech.
Before I go on to dubious, BM, did you have any opinion on Yooyeon? I think you had pointed her out earlier.
Oh yeah. Oh, also, feel free if you want an opinion of mine on a certain girl. I have loads of opinions. Yooyeon. Oh, damn, I don't know. I think she's. I don't know how she got that far. I'll start off with that.
Yeah.
It's almost like people have too much power, like the audience. That's kind of how I felt. I don't know how she could be like so. I say talentless because she hasn't spent the same amount of time, like developing her skills and stuff, right?
Yeah, like she just came out of college.
yeah, exactly. She's in a different world than the other girls.
Right.
I don't know how she got this far. Sure she's pretty, but surely like her lack of skills would have dropped her earlier, but apparently not. Which makes me think that like a lot of the audience has too much power in voting and stuff. I don't know.
And one last one. How about the first place winner herself? Jiwon.
Yo, Dubious, what song did she sing?
Jimin, by the way. Jimin.
Oh,
not Jiwon. It's one Jimin.
Yeah, what was that? Yeah. What was that one performance where she sang that high note? One of the last performances, maybe episode like 10, where was like, wow. Was it?
So she did a song with yeah. So it was Minami, Wonjimin, and Youngche that the Tetisa Twinkle.
The 소녀시대 song.
Yeah.
It was that one. I was thoroughly impressed with her singing. Wow. I think she didn't really catch she wasn't really on my radar earlier in the show, but I think as the show progressed, like, wow, she can sing. Like, she can really sing. And that was impressive. So I'm not really upset that she made it in the final group, and I think she deserves number 1. I think I'm okay with that decision actually. Her vocals are really strong.
Oh yeah.
Probably her and Chaewon are the best vocalists in the show. In my opinion, yeah.
Interesting. Dubious, how about you? Your standout contestants.
Yeah, so I guess like in similar feeling with BM, like there was a lot of talented girls. So for me, like I feel like the ones that I gravitate towards were ones that either showed a lot of professionalism or like felt very natural on stage, or had that like extra like star quality, and I think those are the girls I kind of naturally gravitate towards when I was watching the show. But Youngche, I really liked Youngche throughout the show. BM described her as wholesome, and I wholeheartedly agree with that description. I just thought she was like cute and she was talented, and I thought she was above average for her grade and age, with the amount of talent that she had. So that's why I liked her. So Wonjimin, I actually liked from the beginning because, Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I actually never expected to go far, but like she kind of reminded me a little bit of Itzy's Yooyeon. And I guess as the show went on, she also reminded me a little bit of Ives Yooyeon a little bit. But she's tall. I like that. So she did catch my eye in the beginning. So Taewon, it was weird because like when I first saw her and she came out with like the group of girls, I was like, man, this girl looks really bratty, right? And she had like the persona where she was like being a little snotty. Um, but it was weird because I was like, okay, like I'm pretty sure that's not truly who she is. And if anything, like her acting was a little, it felt a little cute. And as the show went on, like she not only came out as someone that was like really talented, but like BM mentioned, like she'd do some funny stuff that the camera would capture, like her going like wow, like really, really exaggerated and whatnot.
Wait,
So
can I
liked
ask a
Taewon.
question?
Yeah.
Insider, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So what is your so I thought I was alone on this, but does Chaewon look like IU kind of to you?
No, she definitely does. It's like she's got that baby face that like IU has, and I think it has to do with like a very like soft and circular eyes with it.
Yeah. Also, her like mole on her cheek. I think IU has like a mole like similar to that too.
Like it's
I
like
don't know.
a very baby cheek, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm glad she's singing an IU song too.
Oh,
Kind of was able to like show her vocals off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, back to you, dubious.
Yeah, the other person or people that I thought stood out or I liked was Ryewon. I just thought like she is like just professional and born to be in K-pop. That's how I felt about her. Like she just has all of her like bases covered, whether it's like in the visual department, dancing, singing.
That's right.
And it's just like she just felt so natural to me on stage. She's one of those people that's just seems so natural on stage.
Dude, she kind of lived and breathed K-pop.
I honestly, and the thing is like, there's I've mentioned K-pop girls before where like they breathe and live K-pop and they feel off, but for her she felt like very natural. Like when I watch her performances, I'm not feeling awkward. Like wow, this is a robot. This is like this is a person who just really enjoys this and like this is what she's meant to do.
So she's basically Wonyoung but more alive.
All right, well I don't want to say it, but yes. And the last person that kind of caught my eye, and she's not really like someone like a type of girl that I follow in K-pop, but yeah, Poon, like she just really stood out. Like I can't deny how much she stands out. She's to me like like a copy / like mini Jennie, and that's like really high praise when you consider the status that Jennie has in the K-pop industry, whether that's warranted or not. But yeah, so those are the girls that stood out to me.
All right, I gotta ask you, bro.
Okay.
What's wrong with her?
Okay.
Why?
Okay. So here's the thing. So you guys said
why are you a hater?
So I think we can all agree that she is pretty, and she's very talented, right? We can all agree to that, right? And I think she's pretty as well, right? And I like her. However, I think where we disagree is that she has star potential, right?
Damn.
And for you guys, sorry, let me for BM, you mentioned like, oh, she wasn't like FNC, YG, and SM, and that must be the reason why, or that must be at least some reason to believe that she has star potential. That like all those three companies like saw something in her, right? And I completely see that point of view. But let me say this: on the flip side, why did she have to go through all those companies and no one picked her to be in the final group if she has star potential and she was good at singing and she was pretty? Riddle me that. Like that's one. So I'm not saying she doesn't have star potential. To me, that's how I felt. But I can see why other people would see star potential in her. But for me, I look at those three companies that let her go, and think, why did those three companies let her go if she has all these things and star potential?
She was too powerful.
Yeah,
they had to let her
go. So that's the reason why. Like I wouldn't have been mad if she got to the final group, but I just don't think like she was gonna be. Like she had this like crazy star potential compared to someone like Poland or something,
Interesting.
I'm glad that she came up again because I wanted to comment. She kind of reminds me of the love child between Twice Nayeon, and Itzy Yuna.
Oh, I know what you mean.
I actually see Yuna in her.
I see. it's kind of like the smile that's Nayeon, like the very bright smile, and then the eyes, kind of like the big bright eyes, is Yuna.
Yeah, it's
I think
her
that's what
squid
it is.
nose, dude. She has
Yeah,
Nayeon's signature squid nose.
BM says that in a positive way, by the way, guys. If in case you thought I was
Dude,
being
Nayeon is my bias in Twice. Relax, guys.
That's fair.
It's a very endearing squid nose.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I guess for me, one of the stages that I remember, and it's one of the reasons why I like Yunseo so much, is there was a performance called Boss Rich by Doja Cat.
Oh,
And
yeah.
this one had her, Yunseo, as well as like Hyunyi. It was like a mainly rap song, and that's who she is. She's a rapper.
It was the one where they won by kind of a landslide, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty big one.
Yeah.
And like all four of them did very well, and it impressed the judges. And it was kind of like this, like what's kind of cemented her like as my top one pick. And like some other good performances were On the Ground, which Chaewon covered, and then the group that did Taeyeon's Eye.
Mm.
And of course, I don't think anyone mentioned this. In the final episode, there was a song called Sun. It was like the tropical Hawaiian song. It sounds like a Moana theme track.
Does it kind of sound like alcohol free a little bit?
Kinda.
Yeah.
It was the one where they were wearing like white skirts with like gold braces.
Yeah.
It was like an Egyptian looking outfit. And like Yunseo was in it. I thought she looked gorgeous, and like it had other girls I liked too. And apparently it went through plagiarism issues, which Soyeon like plagiarized off of ATs, which was kind of funky, but oh well. And yeah, one of the other things that I also wanted to kind of mention throughout the show, and BM had brought this up, was it was hard to root for the freshman girls. They just didn't seem ready mentally, right? Like once they go into the field, and it's hard to see them having a versatile image, and that kind of hurts their chances of making good delivery when like their physical features just don't match with some of the mature songs that they have to perform. It's, hate to say it, but it's kind of like NMIX trying to do oh when it doesn't really fit their image.
Dude, I was baffled when they got 2 spots over second grade.
And there was, in the final lineup, none of the juniors got in, and 2 freshmen did.
Yep.
And I was just like, this is crazy. And yeah, it was, I don't know, it shocked me. But yeah, Yunseo was my fan favorite. Her performances, Boss Rich, as well as Come Back Home. Chaewon, I really liked. I think she was, for me, one of the best vocalists on the show. She covered On the Ground by Rose, as well as Taeyeon's Eye. And yeah, the other girl that really stuck out for me was Little Riwon. For me, she kind of reminded me of this show's like Nako or like Yeso. Kind of like the young small girl who's like really talented and just kind of like fit for the K-pop industry. She did this one solo of Chonga snapping. That one stuck out to me, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh wait, was it when she's the ace?
Oh god, was she the ace?
I think it was when she was the ace trying to save someone, right?
I forget the exact context, but
did she go against Sunyu?
I think so. But pretty much she did snapping solo, which really caught my eye. And then she performed another song. What is it? Oh My Girl's Dun Dun Dance.
Oh,
and
yes.
I think BM had mentioned that was like one of the best performances. And yeah, and I think Ryewon was kind of the shining star of that group. But oh my goodness, I don't know, bro. Like I was making this presentation, I was looking at pictures of Yunseo, and I was just like, how did this girl not make it in?
I don't know. Ask FNC.
Ask me, I'll tell you why. People hate beauty,
bro.
People have always hated beauty.
Like I get it. Like people were focusing more on talent this time around, but like, excuse me, there could be something called talent plus beauty, and they just, I don't know, they're scared to choose it.
Damn, these salty boys, bro.
Dubious, clip this out. But people were focusing on uplifting. I want you to clip that out.
Definitely keep that in.
I need you to clip that out.
No. You even call me dubious. You even call me dubious, so I can't.
Maybe that could be the cold opening.
Yeah. Well, like I said earlier on, the show got kind of brought to my attention initially because of the judges. Soyeon, she like there's articles about her being stricter than Lisa. She called out the audience for like accepting a group of girls that didn't deserve it. Kind of wanted to see your guys' opinions on this show's panel of judges. BM, I'll start off with you.
Ooh, okay. I think in principle, I agree with Soyeon. Right. It was a big controversy when she was like, the audience is failing to do their part, right?
Yes.
And what she basically meant was the audience isn't helping these girls when they vote in girls that are obviously not ready, right? That's like the gist of her statement. I think I agree, right?
That's right.
Like some of these girls are just gonna, I don't know. I don't think a lot of these girls weren't ready to debut, right? But say they get put into the debut, it's really not. They need more training. It's not gonna help them like throwing them into the debut team. I think.
Yeah.
Especially for some of the contestants that are like meme. They're kind of like voted in through popularity or just memes or whatever. And like, let's be honest, when they get into like as these girls advance, it not only does injustice to girls who should have made it, right? Like based on talent and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of an empty spot because like realistically, how far do you expect them to go?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So a lot of time, like it happens in like produce too, right? Where people have like, oh, like I like this girl, like other than my bias or whatever, right? Like they have a main girl and then they have like other people that they like, so they vote for them and then they drop them later on when the time comes to like actually vote for your main and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they just get dropped like flies. Like it's sad, but I agree with Soyeon. That's not to say that she's consistent in this like mentality throughout, and I think Dubious has like his like opinions on it. I like Soyeon, so that's why I choose to not see her faults. I'm just kidding. I know she's not consistent in this like principle, but like I agree with it in theory, you know.
Yeah.
I thought like Yuri was very refreshingly cold too. Like, yeah. I don't know. I think like there's a time to be nice and there's a time to be like stern, right? Not mean, but like stern. Like I think the difference lies in the fact that like sternness helps you. Like it benefits you, right? It teaches you something. Whereas like just straight being mean, it's not really helping anybody.
Yeah.
But I think that Yuri had like the tactfulness to like really be like a stern, nice teacher.
Yeah. Dubious.
For me, like I didn't really have problem with the judges themselves. If anything, I had more problems with how the show did all the rankings and all that stuff. Like that felt, but kind of focusing on the judges first, like specifically on overall, I think all the judges did good jobs in supporting the girls mentally and preparing for the stages. And I think we know that because most of the stages were fine, or if anything, very impressive. So I think the judges should be commended for that. I think for specifically on that one performance in the first episode where Soyeon was very critical, right? Like I'm perfectly fine with teachers being stern or even I get maybe not mean, but like telling the truth even if it's like hurtful, because like I think that's what girls especially at this age need, you know. And that's what the industry is. So if you're going to come out on the show and put on a performance like that, like you deserve to get that, you know, beating by words, right? My only problem with what she said was when she was saying, I don't know what the judge, or sorry, I don't know what the audience saw. If they saw the same thing, then they must be blind or deaf or whatever, right? So for me, like, I have my personal opinions on how I like rank girls, or how I kind of you know, like my preferences for what I want a K-pop idol to have, right? Whether it be singing or dancing or visuals or whatnot, right? But that's not for everyone. Some people don't care about the talent stuff. They just care for people who want to make them happy when they see them on stage, right? And so if the performance by the two girls, let's say the people in the audience voted them in because they were hilariously bad, to me that's fine. That's a good enough reason. And you might say like, or people might say like, well, but then if they actually become idols, like maybe they won't sell any albums because they're terrible singers.
Well, but if they become actual idols, they might not be able to sell anything because they're not actual singers, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but like look at Soyeon from Produce 101. She was absolutely terrible, but afterwards, when she finally debuted, she made great gains, and if anything, she became more popular than some of the other members in the group. And look at even like Hyewon, like look at the growth that she's made, right? So I don't like it when she said like what were the audiences looking at, because okay, so you have your, I'm okay with her saying as a judge these are my standards and therefore I'm not going to let you into the show because you fall short of these standards. But I don't like it when she says like other people should have my standards, because that's what essentially she's saying when she says I don't know what the people are looking at, you know. Because unless they told the audience like, hey, you can only judge by how good these girls are in singing, dancing, and performance, right? But then if they were just like, okay, vote for girls that you like, then it's like, what standards should we have? It's just all gray at that point, right? So that's my only issue with her. For me, I had more issues with this show. Like, I have never seen a show that made me feel so stupid watching it. Like, DM and I did not understand the rules at all.
Dude.
Like,
Can I comment
yeah,
real quick?
go ahead, go.
Dude, there were so many moments in the show where where Dubious would be like, dude, what are the rules? What's going on? And I'll be like, bro, don't ask me. I have no clue what the hell is going on right now.
There was
And
a
then
point
you
where
just-
I was like, BM, wait, so is it like this? And BM's like, so just defeated, like, dude, I don't know. And I was like, dude, what the hell do we even know? Like, okay, like first of all, when they show that there's 7 members, right? Or sorry, 7 people in the final lineup, and then like in episode 3 or something, when Hyunhee got the first place rankings, and she's a 3rd grader, they're like, okay, in the final lineup, a 3rd grade spot is like reserved, and like, was it just me? Or did everyone think that the final lineup will at least have a 3rd grader?
Yeah.
But then in the end, that didn't matter, right?
Yep. Not
So
one bit.
what the hell was that? And like, okay, here's another stupid thing that I brought to BM, and I don't know if anyone else caught, but like in the first episode, you know how like the judges allowed the girls to get in depending on their performance, right? By the audience and by also the judges. They accepted like they were supposed to accept only 10 girls per each grade, right? But then they picked a surplus, so they were like, okay, let's just match the highest number, which was 16 in each grade.
Right.
So they brought back some girls. What ended up happening was that before the actual first mission, which was the group battle, the production team was like, hey, we need to actually bring this down to 10. So they literally cut down 6 girls before the first battle. Why didn't you just cut down them from the beginning instead of bringing more girls and then cutting it back down? Like, what was that like fiasco about? But regardless,
I don't know, man. I have no clue
that's
what's
what I'm
going
saying.
on.
Dude, throughout the whole show, BM and I were like, oh my god, this group's out. And then like the stupid host would be like, oh, these girls are potential to be like eliminated. And we're like, wait, they're not out? How are they not out? Like, I thought they lost. And it's like, no, like now we're gonna do voting on-site and like, or counting like votes from on-site and voting online to see who's eliminated. And we're just like, all right, at this point, I don't know what's up.
Dude,
And then
there's
at
like,
the end, it didn't even matter.
There's like moments where it's like, who will be eliminated? And then they do the numbers, and then the numbers like show, right? And they're like, first round voting over. I'm like, wait, so they're not eliminated?
Yeah, they're not eliminated. Hey, dude, another stupid thing. Okay, so I know we're gonna go into this later, but in the final lineup, so Won Jimin, who got first place, had 243,000 points, right? The final episode, when they did like the debut team versus the challenger team, the winning team got 50k votes. Hey, Won Jimin won by 243k. That means if she lost, she would have been at like 190, or sorry, 193k.
She wouldn't have made it.
She would have. That played such a big role.
Yeah.
50k.
Because Chaewon was 7th at 198.9.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just like, isn't that crazy? Like 50k to winning team.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, and if anyone tells me that during the battle where like the like first grade and second grade versus third grade and fourth grade, but you know how they ended up 2,000 points versus 2,000 points?
Oh, dude, I was gonna mention that.
Dude, if anyone tells me
That it's not rigged.
that's not rigged, dude, go to Area 51, bro.
Damn.
Dude,
Damn.
I'll just leave it at that.
Dude.
Hold up.
When he was so pissed live.
Oh, dude, I was so pissed.
I
was
just
like,
shrugged.
or do you think we're stupid? Like, okay, I am stupid. I feel stupid watching the show because I don't get the whole ranking of stuff. But they're just like, oh, it's crazy. And they rounded they were just like, it wasn't even like 2,000 like 50 points. It was like 2,000 points versus 2,000 points. Or I'm pretty sure it was 2,000. I think it was flat 2,000, right?
To be
Maybe-
fair though, it was hard to get like a number, like any number that wasn't even, because the votes were all even, right? It's like 10 per person, I think, for that round.
It just baffles me how that actually would have happened. I don't know. Whatever. I give up.
That's how I viewed it. I was like, I guess, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, hear me out. The rigging. You had mentioned rigging, right? I was telling BM just before. This girl got eliminated in the first mission, if you remember, right? She was in the Kashina team.
Do you remember
And then
that,
she was
Denise?
one of the girls who was brought back.
Oh.
Do you not remember that?
Yeah. I think. Yeah. You're
Oh,
right.
you
You're
brought
right.
it back, remember? And
Yooyeon
you
was
stood on it.
I forgot who the other two girls were. But basically, the other two girls made it, and she didn't. She went off the stage, she went crying, right?
Okay.
And then, like you said, but like they brought some of the girls back, and they brought in like too much 16. But that happened in the episodes after the first few ones.
Right.
I think what NBC did was maybe they weren't planning for this, but they saw how popular certain contestants were, and they saw that some of them had gone let loose.
You think?
And they were like, "Holy crap! Oh, we can't do this. Like, we need Yooyeon." And if you guys have seen some of the rankings, you saw that Yooyeon ranked first several times in her senior class.
Yeah.
And that's big because if anything, the seniors are going to be the ones to debut, right? So it was NBC's call to bring back some of these girls, not just for the sake of being surplus, but to save some of these jewels that they had missed. I think that's why they did it. I think that's why they brought back like girls like Yooyeon.
I think that makes sense. It also
right.
makes sense for like Soyeon to like not have wanted it, but be forced to have done it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Interesting. All right.
And you need to remember also, it's not necessarily the judges that disqualified some of these girls. It was the audience, right? They
Yeah,
had to reach
that's true.
75%.
That's true.
Yeah.
And so let's say Yooyeon got eliminated because she was 70%. Well, I mean, the audience isn't the best indicator, right? And it might just have been a bad day for her. So NBC's like maybe we shouldn't have let the audience choose it, you know? But like they kind of wanted like drama, so that's why they had the audience vote. But NBC had some, behind the scenes business, and they're like, all right, let's just bring back some of these girls. Like, might as well.
Okay. All right. I like that theory.
Yeah. I think that's not just plausible. I think that's pretty plausible at this point. And especially seeing how much
pretty plausible.
Yeah, seeing how much attention she actually brought to the show, and she was, I would say, one of the more popular contestants as well.
Yeah.
And on that note of the judges, it was revealed, like we had mentioned, 7 girls in the final debut. The top 7, from what I saw, didn't change that much. But as we eventually found out, the girl group name is Classy.
Oh
Classy.
God.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I've heard a lot of bad names. This one's at least mediocre. Like, it's okay.
I agree. It's not that bad. Not as bad
fine.
as what are some bad names out there?
Kepler. Okay, let me
No,
like
Kepler's
Mix.
fine.
You just offended dubious.
Dude, Kepler's a fine last name, dude.
You
Dude,
know.
I always bring it up, but Aizuan is not a good name.
No, IZ1, that's right. That's right.
How dare you?
You
You
agree
the
with
name
me.
chosen by the people.
You agree with me.
Yeah, this is a terrible name. What the
IOI,
fuck?
yeah.
What were they thinking, dude?
Like, especially out of competition shows, like IOI, like 101, like.
Why must people try so hard? I do not understand. Just go with the first name you think of. Surely it's not freaking IZ*ONE, dude. Or IOI. Come on, man.
Dude, this is the team that made a show named My Teenage Girl. So I don't know.
Okay,
I mean,
that's fair. That's fair.
yeah.
It could have been
that's
worse. It could have
yeah.
been worse.
Could have been
That's true.
worse.
That's true. Yeah. Well, when the last girl was being announced, I think. Well, I was kind of disappointed because like 3 of the 4 girls were pretty much being eliminated. That at least I wanted.
Yeah.
Kind of want to go on to this final episode. There's 14 girls, and then only 7 were making. And boy, I just got to hear your guys' opinions. Dubious, start with you.
Yeah. BM, jump in. Whichever contestant you want to talk about, but or if you feel similar. Would Jimin? So I'll just go like 1 through 9. Maybe we should. I'll just go Jimin and then BM. You can talk about Jimin or like Insider. Yeah. Maybe that
I
way.
don't want to talk about Jimin.
Damn.
We'll do bad if we don't
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So I never thought Jimin was gonna make it actually. Like I liked her a lot. But in terms of like screen time in the beginning, she didn't really come out that much.
She was also like almost eliminated at one point, right? Remember?
Yeah.
She might have gotten close. I forget which one, but
No, she was almost gonna get
Yeah,
eliminated.
she
she
did?
did almost get eliminated.
And like I feel like her screen time kind of grew as the show went on, but I was like, I think it's a little too late. And like, and when she finally got to show her like vocal talents in some of the later stages, I was like, ooh, I think she might gain momentum. But then she had like that big mess up in episode 10 where she like, fumbled onto the stage. So I'm actually really happy she got in. I just don't know how she ended up getting first place.
Yeah.
But regardless, I'm very happy she made it. She was one of my favorites. So
I really do think it's her latter performances.
it might have. I mean, they were very good, very strong.
Yeah, I think that's what kind of like tipped people over. Like, oh, like this girl actually has to go in.
Yeah.
Regarding my opinion on Jiwon,
Jimin. Yeah.
sorry, I don't keep on saying Jiwon.
Yeah.
Jimin. For me, she was able to demonstrate like a lot of skill, right, in singing.
Yeah.
Sure, she had that dancing mistake, but she didn't really make many mistakes in the show, like holistically. So I'm okay with her being number 1, tbh. Like previously, like around like episode 8 and 9, it was like Mihi or Hyunhee was first, right? I thought Hyunhee was solid, but I didn't really see it, so like I'm okay with like Jimin being first, tbh.
Moving on to Sonyu.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh god,
Sonyu's such a weird one for me. Like, I can't deny that she's very talented in both dancing and singing. And if you take into her age, which she's 13 right now, or at least that's what the wiki is telling me.
The youngest member, yeah.
Yeah, her and Poland are both 13. Considering her age, like she's super talented, right? But like the thing that bothers me about her compared to the other girls in the top 7 or in the final group is that to me she kind of lacked like the professionalism that kind of takes someone to the next level, right? Like I mentioned, like I think at the base, like a K-pop idol should be, talented, whether it's in singing, dancing, or visuals, right? And I think the professionalism or like that star potential is like the next steps. But whenever I saw her, like I was just like, oh, she has really good energy and she has a lot of like raw talent. But it's just, man, like she doesn't have that next thing yet, and that's just a personal feeling. But I guess the good thing is that professionalism is something that can be taught. And she's very young, so I do think she has. It's not like she's a lost cause, Like I do think she's very good and she has a lot of raw talent. But if it was up to me, like I probably wouldn't have voted for her. But yeah, she's a interesting pick for me.
BM.
I just want to ask the people in the audience, do you think by voting for her, you were doing her a favor?
What do you mean?
I was doing a Soyeon impression. I don't know. Apologies in advance. I don't know what people see in Sunyu. Like, I think she's talented, right? She's talented.
Yeah.
She's young. She can sing. She can dance. Yeah. I agree with you, Dubious. I don't see this star quality in her. I can't help but compare it to like Rewon, and it honestly feels like worlds different. One looks like a trainee, and kind of like comes off as a trainee, and one comes off as like debut, like she already debuted, you know. I don't think she's ready. Even comparing her to like Poon, I think it's different.
Yeah,
Poon
agreed.
kind of feels like she's owning the songs, as opposed to like Sunyu does the song well, performs the song well, but it seems still like a cover, you know. I don't know. I don't think she has the stage presence that catches my attention enough for her to be warranted spot number 2, ranked number 2.
That's the thing. It's like I feel like people saw things that I just maybe BMI just didn't see.
Yeah, maybe I'm.
And
maybe
that's
I'm
why I'm
just
kind of
blind.
confused. Yeah.
I don't get it. Yeah.
But I mean, BM and I both realize that on this show, watching the show, we're just stupid, right? So maybe that's the reason why we can see it.
That's fair. Maybe we were so stupid we couldn't understand her like merit and stuff, you know? Wouldn't be out of this world.
I will say throughout the show, BM had like multiple predictions, and I think up until episode like 8 or something, like all of his predictions are wrong.
If there was a show called The Greatest Winner, I'd be the Greatest Loser. I'd be the greatest winner.
Yeah, he was wrong on everything.
I was wrong even making that statement, dude.
Number 3.
Hyungseo. Oh, sorry.
Uncanny Valley.
Hyungseo is okay. First of all, she's also someone that I just never thought would make it into the final group. I would say as the oldest in the group, she's not actually that old. She's 20. I'm happy that she made it because this probably would have been one of the last like ways for her to kind of make a resurgence in her career. To me, she's like the equivalent of Yooyeon from GP999. She's someone that has experience. She's already debuted before. She was in a group called Busters. She's talented in singing and will most likely carry the group as the leader. So those are the positives. The negatives, I gotta be honest, I really didn't like. She never really came to focus while I was watching the show. Maybe it's because I had so many other girls that I was interested in, but like, she to me is it's a solid member, but that's about it. Like she's solid and she has experience, but she didn't really have anything that like made her pop on stage. Like even when she was singing, like she never had those lines where I felt like, oh, it was like Chaewon like hitting the really high notes, or like Poon with like that really interesting like tone. It was just like she was just solid. So even though I'm happy that she made it, I don't know if I also would have voted for her either.
So I'm glad you mentioned that she debuted as Busters previously. Apparently on March 29th, 2020, she posted a letter on her fan cafe saying that she was leaving the group to focus on her studies.
Bro, you know why she left? It's because her CEO was hella shady.
Oh, really?
Remember, she and Yeseo from Kepler, they're in a Busters group, and they
Oh yeah.
that was the same group?
Yeah, they had to like be with 2 male hosts and like dress in like really like skimpy.
Oh, I remember.
Oh, I didn't know she was in the same group, dude. Look at the Busters girls just making resurgence in their careers, dude.
True. Yeah, I don't know. For me, I don't know. So initially, what I knew her as was Chaewon's biggest fan, because there was an episode where like Chaewon was like highlighted a lot, and they'd always cut to this girl going like, "Oh yeah, Chaewon's the best" or something, right? It's like, dude, you're on the show as a competitor with her, and like, come on. Then as the show went on, I don't know. I like I think she has skills, right? But she's like kind of like Sunyu to me, where she had so many fans in the audience. I'm like, I don't know what you guys see in her, dude. Maybe I need glasses. I don't know.
No, I think she was a very stable vocalist, but there was nothing unique about her, and that's what kind of
and it's like
hard to track.
There's like a couple girls I have in mind that I would prefer over Hyungseo.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, maybe like Yunseo. Yeah. Or maybe another girl like Yunseo.
Yeah.
Or that other girl like Yunseo,
Yes. Yeah, dude,
voice.
I think that sums up my opinion on Hyungseo being in the final.
Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. What about you 4? Yeah.
Haeju.
Oh,
She's a pleasant surprise for me. So
the
like
Tenet girl.
the so for me, the way I see Haeju is like she's one of the members that just by pure talent and hard work, she just forced herself into the final lineup. That's how I see it. Like episode 4, she was 23rd, and episode 7, she was 19, right, on online votings. She was she was low on online votes throughout the show, and she didn't actually score that high in live voting, if I remember correctly. I don't know if she ever got first.
Interesting.
But as the show went on, like you couldn't deny that like the teams that she was part of, like she always played a big role, you know, and like she always seemed like, and like of course there are probably other girls that were working very hard, but like whenever like she came on screen, it just seemed like she was giving everything, right? And that's what caught my attention, and I'm glad she made it because of that. And I think like she's not only a great addition to the team, but like the structure of the show made it so that girls like this could make it into the final lineup. You know, like if this was like produced where it was like every time the elimination round came up, like it was like you got live votings or like you dropped out, like girls like Haeju would have been dropped, right? Because like, you know, she just had low, you know, online votings for most of the time. But like because like the show allowed the girls to kind of, you know, do these battles one-on-one or like do these battles like and have a bit more control over their destiny, I think girls like Haeju actually made it in. And I think that's one of the positives about the show.
I do think that she did work pretty hard though.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I can't really be mad at Hyunju being like rising from such a low like a lower rank, right? 20 like mid 20s is pretty low, right? Or like high 20 or low 20s or whatever. It's pretty low, and to make it to number 4, like props. She I always thought that I didn't notice her from the start. I thought that she was like kind of pretty, but I only mentioned it like later on when like she was like top 25 or whatever, top 21. And I think that it's well deserved. She definitely showed out during like the later competition rounds, and I think that I'm not mad at Hyunju like making it to the final 7. Yeah, she's very solid. She definitely can dance like with her freaking Tenet thing.
Someone said she has no bones in her body. I remember when I was watching the show. Someone said that.
Oh. I was talking about dubious. I was talking about this with dubious while we were watching the show. But when she did that move, it reminded me of this one IKEA furniture. It's like a chair, like a rocking chair in the shape of a crescent moon. Where like if you tip one side and let it go, it'll like spin to the other side. You know, I'll add it in later. But that's what it reminded me of. But yeah,
Ryewon. I said this before, but she's just meant to be a K-pop idol. Like, I think I felt this with her and Poem, but like the moment I saw her like on the first episode, I was like, okay, I think she's someone that's gonna take well with the Korean audience. And for good reason, you know, like she's talented in many areas. And she's one of those people that's, to me, just felt so natural on stage that like it really immerses you into the experience, you know, like and she kind of owned the songs that she sang. So I couldn't see the final 7 without her being in it.
For me, yeah, I mean, like we've talked about Ryewon like a lot in the podcast already.
Yeah.
But it felt like Ryewon was someone that always brought her A game, you know. Whenever she took to the stage, she didn't like shrink. She always did her parts well. Just someone that like is so serious about K-pop to me. That's how it like comes off as. Like they just live and breathe K-pop, you know. Like this is their goal, and like nothing is gonna stop them. That's what it kind of felt like to me.
Yeah. Owen.
She has so much potential. Her voice is unique.
Jenny Jr.
Jenny Jr. And I think like I can already imagine her doing the killer parts in the songs, you know. I like I said, similar to Ryewon, like I just felt like she was gonna make it in the final group, and I just like didn't see a way she couldn't. Like the first episode, she already showed that she could sing, and like you know that she has like that visual image that Koreans like. So I knew she was gonna make it in, unless like there was some catastrophe. But I think she's someone that everyone is glad is in the group. I mean, unless like you really don't like the Jenny type of figures, like I think she's a really invaluable member to the team.
Yeah.
Damn, I just realized Yooyeon is 8th.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It came down
I'll
to Yooyeon
actually
versus
talk about
Taewon.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I forgot about it. I repressed it. Dude, Pone. I like Pone. Despite being like a Jenny copy, I think that she when she covers songs, it feels like she's singing her own song. That's the feeling I got whenever she like was performing a song. I like that a lot. I think that's indicative of star quality, you know?
Mm.
Where they're so good at what they do, they convince you that it's like their own creation, right? I think that's like indicative of star quality. That's why I like Pone a lot. Not to like diminish the fact that she's like so talented at like dancing and singing as well, you know. I think her expressions are killer. I think she's like a pretty good fit. And I agree with Dubious that I think that she'll do well in like killing parts and stuff.
Yeah. And the last of the 7, Chaewon.
I don't know how she got this low. I feel like a lot of people might have thought that or felt that like she was safe, so like they voted for other girls that they liked or like their second picks, right?
That happens a lot, right?
I think so. I mean, I thought she was gonna get like rigged out. I thought this was gonna be like Colin from Produce 48 all over again. I'm so thankful that she made it in versus like okay, so this was really saddening for me because when they were released or when they picked 4 girls that was gonna be the 7th spot. It was Chaewon, Yooyeon, Youngchae, and Bihi, right? And I was like, dude, well, I knew like I couldn't both have Youngchae and Chaewon, so I was sad about that. But then like I'm so glad that Chaewon was the one that got the spot versus Yooyeon, you know. So just very happy. I feel like I've said enough about Chaewon and why I want her to be in the final group, but I think she'll do well.
Chaewon. I'm like admittedly sad she dropped so low. Given that I think that she's probably like top 2 talent in this show.
Yeah.
But I mean, as long as you make it right.
I mean that's what's important. And it's not I don't think they have like the whole center thing anymore or with the show, so
yeah, I mean I feel like as K-pop like evolves through the years, like it becomes so gray like who's center, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at like groups nowadays, it's hard to pinpoint a center, I think. Like
I feel like I feel like the groups nowadays do a lot of like centers per comeback. Yeah. Mixing roles, yeah.
Yeah, where they highlighted different, and I think I like that too. You know, I think it gives like members that aren't as well known like a chance to shine. You know.
Yeah. It doesn't work for every group, but I think for some groups it does work. Like I think I think for some groups like you need, if like the center is so like pivotal to how the overall group has to be represented, I think it's better to stick as one. But for some groups there's multiple girls that like represent that group well or that come back really well, right? So
yeah, I agree. And like it seems like a lot of like new girl groups that are coming out, they seem to like focus on building their group like the latter way, you know, where they don't just have a star player and just surround them with like bench warmers, you know.
Yeah.
That sounded mean.
No,
but I didn't mean to be mean.
No, I know what you mean.
But you're still mean.
But it doesn't matter because I'm already a mean person, like in the eyes of the viewers, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised that Cheon still made it. I think it's well deserved. I think we talked enough about her on the show, so there's not much for me to add.
Yeah. Yes,
I gotta talk about Yooyeon.
Yeah, for sure. In these eliminate girls, there's 3, but yeah, definitely with Yooyeon. She just got off the last place, like literally just one place away, and she could have gone in.
She was 17K votes away from being 7th place.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where it's like she just missed out, you know. And like, not gonna lie, she still would have brought like a big presence just with like her visual in a way. But yeah, Dubious, I guess, kind of want to hear what you have to say.
Look, I have absolutely no problem with people who voted for her because of her visuals, right? Like, and like I said, like whatever standards you have in K-pop, like it's good enough for me. It's entertainment at the end of the day, right? And like the kind of equivalent I want to compare her with is kind of like the best compare. I keep bringing her up this episode, but is Haewon or Haewon from Eyes One, right? From Eyes
You
One.
hate Haewon?
No, I like Haewon. That's the thing. That's where I'm like, it's fine that there's another girl who came to the show that didn't have a lot of, or if anything, I think Yooyeon came with like pretty much no singing or dancing experience, right? And who pretty much made it through the show by being a visual and by capturing the attention of the audience by her personality, or assumingly.
Mm.
And so I have no problem with her even getting this far or almost even making it to a final group. Of course, I would have been sad if she got the spot over Chaewon, but like I wouldn't have said it's unfair, right? Because it's like whatever, like however people decide to pick these girls is up to them, right? As long as it's not like rigged, right? But what made me go against her, what made me do a 180 on her, was actually the last episode when everything was presented, right? So like all the 7 girls were presented, and the MC was doing a quick interview with the girls that almost made it, right? And so the MC asked Yooyeon, would you like to say something to your many fans and friends who supported / loved you, right, throughout the show? And I know I don't know which version of or which platform people watch this in, but in Korean she said pretty much this. She said, because of the show I became more famous and it gave me a little thrill. Thank you. Right?
Interesting.
Okay, I think what she meant to say was to be light, so that it wouldn't be taken. And like, of course, we also have to understand she's live. This is like a live thing, so she probably felt like, okay, I gotta say something really quick, and maybe she wanted to say something a little quirky or like funny, right? And maybe not so down because there were girls crying. But like, that's not the time to be saying that.
Girls crying everywhere. Yeah, it was a thrill.
There's parents crying in the background. Like, while she's interviewing, there's parents in the back like crying. And so when you're there to thank your fans who voted for you, even though your fans know that you don't have the talent to have made it this far, you shouldn't say, I'm thankful I got more popular because of the show and it gave me a little thrill. Like, to me, that now downplays pretty much everything you've done and make it seem like this was just a fling and you just tried this to see how far you could get, while every girl around you was, or pretty much putting their life on the line to get in this final group, right? Or assumingly. And so I don't like that, and I think that I don't think that's what she really meant to get across either, because like I do think she tried hard throughout the show. I do think like the teachers multiple times said like, oh, she like grew, like she improved a lot. So I don't think that's what she meant to say, but what she said was not what I was hoping to hear.
Okay. Interesting. BM, any thoughts
On
Yooyeon? Yeah.
Dude, I'm upset that she got this far. I can't believe she got 8th. I guess people just like her that much, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have much to say. I think dubious covered my points.
Yeah.
I did want to ask, like, very quickly, what you guys thought of Minami, because she was a member that I did follow.
Yeah, you liked her from the beginning.
Yeah.
Dude, Minami was like, well, I think I mentioned it when I was watching this, but I thought she was like, maybe I'm so used to Produce 48, but she was like the most talented Japanese like K-pop trainee I've seen so far
In a while, right?
Like I'm trying to think about the last one that I was this surprised by, and I can't recall, to be honest.
She's just an all-rounder, so solid.
Dude, her like singings were great, but like when she did the rapping, I forget what song it was. Was it Mic Drop? I forget what song it was.
Yeah, it might have been Mic Drop. Yeah.
Oh, her tone was wonderful. Now, does she have the coldest resting expression? Yeah, she has like the coldest resting expression I've seen.
Dude, my girl's straight up a killer.
Dude, her dad's definitely the Yakuza. Okay, maybe I'll clip that out. But like, I liked her. If I had to, I don't think she was in my like top three pick, but I wouldn't have been mad if she made it in the final group. That's for sure.
I'm kind of sad she's 13th, and a far 13th too.
Yeah. Dude, my girl Youngche F.
Dude, I would have preferred her over Sunyu. I don't know.
Oh, me too. I would take Minami over Sonyu.
something I want to bring up, which is the point of the show. They were trying to create a global girl group, right? Quote quote. If you see in the lineup, though, 90% of the girls were Koreans. 90%. And for me, again, it's one of those things where I always believe there's some kind of rigging in the show. So I thought someone like Minami or even someone like Mihi, because she's Korean American, like would have been put in the top 7, like maybe like an English speaker or something like that. But that didn't happen. So yeah, I was kind of quite shocked that that occurred. One of the other things is, I think BM had mentioned this. Bihi and Hyunhee kind of gave the cold eye look, right? BM, is that what you said?
Yeah, they're like sharper features,
Yeah. I honestly thought one of these girls would have made it in just to kind of be like like that kind of like cold on knee among the group. I'm not gonna lie, unpopular opinion, I think one of them should have gone in instead of Poland. And I think some of it has to do with age. I think some of it has to do with age, but it also has to do with maybe versatility as well.
Insider,
And
I did not know you were a Hanyu fan.
There's image that can be replaced, and also the fact that I think one thing that kind of made me annoyed was the fact that Poon was a Jenny lookalike. And I think it's better if these girls just try to act more like themselves instead of relying on some other image, if you know what I mean. And I feel like Mihi and Hyunhee gave that, whereas Poon didn't. All these 3 girls, I believe, have a similar image. And I think for, like reputation's sake and also for age sake, Bihi or Hyunhee should have made instead. Not saying that I support Hyunhee being in the top 7. I also don't think that should have happened. I definitely think that our number 12 girl here should have been number 2. I don't know how she ranked this low. I'm gonna go on to Dubious's point about why SM, FNC, and YG didn't accept her or whatever, or didn't debut her. Number 1, SM, the only girl group they debuted so far was aespa. And they needed 2 foreign girls and they needed 2 Korean girls. So Yunseo's chances were pretty bad there.
Oh hell yeah! Insider coming in with the
YG.
Oh
they haven't had a girl group since Blackpink, and the next one they're debuting is Baby Monster, and I don't think Yunseo wanted to wait that long. And also,
you don't think she would have waited for a YG group? You're smoking.
Well, we don't know, because also we didn't really know when Baby Monster was gonna come out, and we didn't even hear the name until like late last year. And these girls had to apply by mid last year. So
don't mind me just remembering the fact that Little Monster exists.
Yeah,
or Baby Monster. Yeah,
Little Monster, Baby Monster. We don't even know when they're gonna debut. We don't know like if it's even gonna debut. And it's like one of those things where like YG likes to keep girl groups in the dungeon. So like Yunseo might have been like, okay, let me try FNC. I might have a better chance there. Because Yunseo also has to be realistic. She's like YG girl groups is like really strong, powerful, and she probably had some say in it too. Like she might not just have gone like handed down. We don't know. And the thing with FNC is there was one girl group from them recently. I think they're called Harry Sum or something like that. And like 9 girls debuted. And if anything, that might have been a good choice. But we don't know what order she was in these companies. She might have been in FNC first, then she went to SM, then to YG. But more than like these 3 companies saw her and didn't accept her, I think the fact that she was in these 3 companies, that only could have happened because these companies saw her potential and they saw her and they wanted like a piece of her, if you know what I mean. So that kind of proves in a way that she has some star quality. I don't think YG is known to like accept a bunch of trainees and then eliminate them. If anything, that would be JYP. JYP is known to like accept a lot of people and they just let go.
Dubious with the double whammy.
And so
I disagree.
I was totally disappointed. I'm not gonna lie. This is even worse than the Yurina case for me in Girls Planet. And I only watched the show for like 2 days. But yeah, Dubious, I guess you got like a counterpoint.
No, I think like the amount of scouting that these companies do are pretty wide. So like we also don't know how long she was in the company. She might have just literally made the first round and not have made like the next, right? So they might have been like, oh, she's good at singing and dancing, let's bring her in. Or they might have been like, oh, she has star potential, let's bring her in. And we don't know at what point they let her go we don't know at what point she let herself go.
Right.
So all that is our details that we're missing. But I don't know. Look at the final lineup, man. I mean, look at the final votes. I mean, she also got the benefit of 50K, correct?
I think
Because she
so,
was in the challenge group.
Yeah.
So technically, if she had lost, she would have 96K.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
One other factor I'm gonna bring. Sorry, I'm not saying so much about.
Or is this Yunseo? Are you making another factor about Yunseo?
Yeah, I'm making another factor about Yunseo.
Dude, freaking go hit her up on DMs or something. Jesus, dude.
It's like
you insulted the man, dude.
I've never seen you so like protective of a girl, dude.
No,
You literally
it's
won't
just
let
like
it go.
yeah, it's one thing. She
Go
was
to
like
change.org and put in a petition or
rapper
something.
of the group. In the top 7, I don't know who's a good rapper. I'm not sure. I don't know, but the people that are watching this show, right,
It's
are
on
probably yeah. The people watching this show are probably not like your usual, like I don't know, like produce watchers or anything like that. It's definitely like geared towards like the younger audience, especially when we're talking about like teenage girls. And maybe Yunso's image just didn't really fit in. Like I don't know, maybe that could have been a reason why. It's just really hard to see that, like from these 8 through 14 girls. I'm not gonna lie, this group is strong in itself. Like I'm looking like Mihi, Hyunhee, and like Yooyeon, Youngchae. I'm like, yeah, this definitely could have been a group. I feel like this is like a global group.
Dude, there's only one like
One
non-Korean.
Japanese girl and one Korean American girl, which is more diverse than 7 Korean girls. And
On the part about the rapper, I do think like Yunso's probably the strongest rapper in this lineup. I do think Sonyu can rap a bit, and I feel like I've heard Poland rap, but maybe she just did like a Jenny type of rap. Who knows? But I will say when you listen to some of the songs that they performed on the live on the last episode, right? It seemed like the concept they're going for isn't rap heavy, so I don't know if Yunseo would have been that pivotal in that final lineup.
That's true. Yeah.
So try to sleep on that one, huh?
Hey, I'm just saying. She also did CL's Come Back Home, and she was playing more of a vocalist there, so she could always be versatile. But I guess Koreans didn't really care about that.
Yeah, she lost to Haeju on that, so
yeah, no,
sleep on that one.
Unlucky. Anyways, this group, Classy, has a 7-year contract with a subsidiary of MBK Entertainment, which is home to Daya and former Tiara. Not gonna lie,
2 groups that are doing very well right now.
Yeah. So it's like, if you guys know anything about those groups, you know it's not so hot, and we don't know. What's up?
Who?
Oh, Taya, TIA. Yeah, it's not a well-known.
It's
group.
the one that Chung Chaeyeon's in from.
No.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
Wait, you said I know? I've never heard of them.
No, like as in they're a group that.
I see.
Yeah.
I like this picture though.
Well, yeah, it's a cute picture.
Yeah, so they're already like preparing, like coming out on like M Countdown and things like that. I don't know when their official debut is, but I'm sure it'll be soon.
Guess who the center is? Definitely not Poland, right?
Can someone tell me why Sonyu looks like she just lost her spot in the team?
That's her professionalism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, my girl Chimin's straight up just staring to her soul, so I don't know.
That's true.
Yeah. So this group is representing K-pop to go on to billboards. Apparently, that's what their company says.
All right.
And they're supposed to be a global K-pop girl group. And yeah.
You repeat that like 6 times this episode. Like, you freaking working for NBC, bro? Jesus.
Yeah.
MK.
Okay. But yeah, that's Classy. The new girl group bound to debut, and from the latest K-pop survival competition show. So make sure to look out for them in the near future. But that is it for today. To all the viewers, the 3 of us would like to hear your thoughts about Classy, what your favorite stages and contestants were from the show, and what you thought about the show My Teenage Girl. So make sure to leave your opinions and comments down below. And of course, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.
Can our outro song be Everglow Dun Dun, because
Dun,
I'm
dun,
so
dun,
done
dun,
with these
dun,
shows
dun,
like
dun.
hyping up, getting me interested, and then leaving me with like this, dude.
Bro,
I'm so done with these kind of shows.
yeah. Goodness.
Which granted.